I don't know how about you guys, but I feel like being inorganic and fraudulent is becoming a new trend among K-pop companies and groups, and I honestly hate it. To me, it seems like companies have decided to push the fake it till you make it motto onto their artists. Let's move into the video to see how K-pop groups are becoming less and less organic and more fraudulent with every free release. K-pop is becoming more inorganic and more fraudulent with every release. It's not really a new thing, as K-pop companies were faking album sales or music video views before, but 2022 was the year when it actually skyrocketed, and K-pop companies found a new way of faking their group's achievements. In 2022, BTS went on hiatus, and I believe this is the reason why companies have started this so-called rat race with album sales, just because they want to sell more albums than BTS during their hiatus. K-pop groups began to release more and more album versions. Before 2022 or 2021, the max amount of album versions was just 4. Sometimes groups were releasing more, but that wasn't really that often and it wasn't a huge amount. Now, it became normal to release 10 or even more album versions. You get 3 or 4 normal versions of the same album. You also get member versions for the same album. You also get some extra like mini album or special edition limited ones. With so many versions, which sometimes is even up to 15, it's really not a huge achievement anymore to hit 1 or 2 or even more million sales. We see this with groups like aespa, Stray Kids, 17, NCT, IVE, and more. The amount of versions is however not the only factor in huge sales, but also the insane amount of photo cards per idol included in the albums. Some people who collect whole groups or the same idol, they have to buy a large amount of albums to get as many photo cards as they can to raise the possibility of getting full set or at least having enough photo cards to exchange them. This, for example, was used with 17, who became the best-selling group. Did they get this organically? No. They didn't get this title organically. It's really easy to see how the companies fake their group's achievements. The group gets huge amount of sales, like 4 or even 5 million, but what about the streams? What about charting? It's honestly crickets. How are you the best-selling K-pop group with soloists basically outstreaming you and out-charting you? Sales and streams should match, but they aren't. This is just an example. If somebody gets 5 million album sales, but they can't even crack 500 million streams or get over 15 million monthly listeners and have no top 10 Billboard Hot 100 entries, it's kind of weird. I know fans of these groups try so hard to prove that everything matches, but it doesn't. I remember how everyone was making fun of, I think that was Stray Kids at the time, for getting so many sales, but when the album dropped, it didn't get that many streams to match the album sales. They even barely debuted on Billboard Hot 100, and I remember also some drama with Strays lying about the song being first Korean one to debut there, which is obviously a lie. Recently, SM Entertainment was also exposed for allegedly faking Reese's album sales in their first week. As for the first week sales, they sold 1,100,000 copies, and for total, they sold 1,900,000 copies. SM was said to make a lot of events so fans can go and register many orders, so even before the events the label have created more orders than the actual sales. SM basically told the labels to sell 1,900,000 albums ahead of time to match the events they will be holding, but the first week sales showed only 1,100,000 copies because there was 800 that failed to be captured in the record. Then the OP have noticed that they released another digital single and other lucky draw events, and all the numbers went to their album instead of being separated. During the events, Riza apparently sold only 1,000 copies. Sometimes selling so many versions can actually backfire, and we saw this with aespa. aespa is releasing an average of 11 copies of the same album. First, they released their highly anticipated album My World. It has sold over 1,400,000 copies. However, shortly after releasing this album, aespa dropped another album, Drama, this time with 17 versions. However, in the first day, they sold only 550,000 copies, which is way less than My Word album. Streams in K-pop are also very inorganic, and I think the best example here is Money by Lisa. Apparently, she was the first idol to hit 1 billion streams as a solo artist. However, the song has a huge filtering rate of over 50%, and the real streams are nowhere close to 1 billion, as the song's current streams are around 570 million streams. This is all thanks to looping, which is why when Lisa's stans began to mass loop the song, and the song was gaining 3 million streams, she was nowhere charting on Billboard or Spotify, and when she was charting, it wasn't with 3 or 4 million streams, but with only 1 million. For example of a song with organic streams, we have Jungkook's 7, that after filtering rate still has over 1 billion streams. Any song that has overall 40 or 50 or even more % of filtering rate doesn't have organic streams. The streams might show that the song got 300 million streams, but then after the filtering rate, it might be even less than 100 million streams. Fans mass looping is probably the artist's worst nightmare after they see how many streams they got, but then they see that they are not charting anywhere. Next we have music video views that are also very much not organic. K-pop music videos get crazy amount of views. They easily hit 50 million or 100 million views. You might think that their song went viral or fans are streaming, but that is not true. The reason why K-pop music videos gain a large amount of views is because of ads. I don't think it's surprising, as we all have probably seen those TikTok videos showing percentage of real and ad views for each music video. K-pop companies rely way too much on ads. Sometimes the views from ads are almost 90% of the entire music video. It's really hard to find a music video that has at least 70% organic views. After all, K-pop companies are and will continue to make their groups inorganic and fraudulent because they want the international success no matter what, even if it means polluting the earth. It also shows that K-pop companies do not really care about fans but only see them as ATMs. Might sound harsh, but that is the brutal reality. I also hope that the Korean FTC that investigates K-pop agencies over the sales practices will actually do something about it, because not everyone can afford buying 22 album versions overall. Let's say a group has 2 comebacks, that's at least 20 albums to buy. It is really a huge problem for fans. But let me know what do you think about it down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn notifications on for more. That is it for today. Bye!